remember the history correctly, but you had a lot of instances when not only Ham, okay, but also Moab. Moab came, you know, he did certain things against the 12 tribes of Israel. Ishmael, all of these nations have done that. Okay, so the Lord said that what? Vengeance was going to come upon them. But not only that, it says that what? To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. Now, what you call what's punishment? Okay, punishment is the activity, okay, of afflicting someone, all right, because they've made a wrong move. Okay, punishment is here's the rule books, and you didn't choose to follow the rule books. Now, what's some of the rules that you have within the scriptures, man? Okay, you ain't supposed to commit adultery. You ain't supposed to covet. Okay, you ain't supposed to commit idolatry, which idolatry is the worship of false gods, man. Now you got a lot of false gods within the earth. Okay, what's a false god? Okay, Caesar Borgia. That's a false god. Okay, oh, there we go, beautiful. Now we can get into some damn teaching. Oh, we go, yeah. So that's a little bit quiet. So now we can get into the edifying, man. Okay, so what's the false gods upon the earth? You got Caesar Borgia. He's a false god. Okay, the gods of these different nations, those are false gods. You got a lot of our people, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, that are heavy into those doctrines, man. Okay, they're heavy into Buddha, they're heavy into Islam. Okay, they're heavy into the so-called Christian church. But the reality of the situation is that what? There's only one true living power, man. Okay, and the Mosai said it best when you're dealing with the scriptures. The Mosai is poetic, man. Where do you think the tribe of Judah gets that flavor from? Okay. They get that flavor from the Yahweh Shemi outside. When the scripture says that what? The Lord said, the Lord set it up to where pretty much, okay, the image of Dagon, okay, going back into the history, fell before the Ark of the Covenant. Alright, what's that dealing with, man? That's called poetic. That's called poetry, man. That's the Most High showing you that there's one living power, man. Okay, the scripture talks about how a man, that's within the book of Jeremiah, how basically different men was going to go into the crafts, whether it may be blacksmithery or whether it may be carving, okay, where you're going to carve out gods and so on and so forth. These different heathen nations, they carve out their so-called gods, and the Most High said they didn't even speak, man. Okay, now you go to where you got the living power, Yahweh Shemi outside. Let's get a little bit better light. Okay, you got the living power, Yahweh. That's better. Okay, the living power, Yahweh Shemi outside. Pretty much the Most High, he's a living power, man. Okay, when you pray, he's gonna hear your prayers. Okay, when you go now, check it out. The Most High, he don't bend down to your will. You bend down onto the will, Yahweh Shemi outside. That's why you say if the Most High will. Okay, but you pray onto the Most High, he's gonna hear your prayers. You pray to Caesar Borgia. Caesar Borgia ain't gonna grant you nothing, man. Okay, see, that's one thing this society don't realize. Okay, they don't realize that really the Most High is the one that's in control of everything that's happening within the earth. Okay, and that's why you got a lot of wickedness that's happening. But guess what the scripture says? It says, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of Yahweh Shemi outside be in their mouth and the two-edged sword within their hands to execute vengeance upon the heathen. We spoke about the vengeance, man. Okay, vengeance is going to be a very necessary instrument, okay, of balancing out, okay, what's happening within the earth right now. You got to where a lot of Israelites are catching hell underneath these heathen nations, man. Vengeance is going to be the balancing act, okay, as a result of that. Okay, and the scripture continues to say what? It says, and punishments upon the people. Why is there going to be a lot of punishment? Like I said, there's the law of wickedness that happens within the earth. The scripture says within the book of Proverbs, okay, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Why do the people rejoice? Because the result of righteous acts, okay, is good things happening. Now, when you go wicked acts being committed, the scripture says that what? The wages of sin is death. Okay, so you're gonna have it to where a lot of people are gonna be punished because of what? Because down that way. Yeah, you're bad. You might want to take a cab, but it's you go down that road. Okay, but pretty much spirits, man. Okay, but pretty much so if the wages of sin is death, now you know why the Most High said that what? The kings, okay, the righteous elect of Yahweh Shemi outside, they was gonna have a sword within their hand, man. Okay, it's continuing here. It says, Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Okay, let the high praise of Yahweh Shem outside be in their mouth and the two-edged sword within their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. Okay, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. And I read that scripture because it ties in with the book of Isaiah, the 60th chapter. Okay, the book of Isaiah, the 60th chapter tells you that what? Okay, that these nations were going to come to us, man. They're going to flow towards the 12 tribes of Israel to worship us, to bow the knee before us. The scripture says when Yahweh is going to come, okay, when the Lord was going to return, when he's going to make his return, okay, he was going to take the kings of the earth, okay, he was going to take their power away. You all right there, mate? How do you feel about Brexit? You know Brexit is in the Bible. Did you know that? Okay, you go to the book of Daniel, it talks about the 10 toes, okay, of which, you know, every empire that's ever existed was written about within the scriptures. And the last empire, which we're living in the last days right now, okay, was the image that was, the part of the image it was the feet, okay? That was you know about Nebuchadnezzar? Okay, well basically Nebuchadnezzar was like a king of Babylon within the earth, major person, right? And he had a dream. The dream showed him everything that was going to happen, but it showed it to him in an image. Okay, the head was gold. Okay, the arms was silver, right? And the last bit was part clay and part iron. So you go to where the iron is America, that's strong. But you go to where you go to clay, and it says the clay was also going to break up. That's why you're breaking away from the EU. Oh, it could be, but you can't deny Brexit is happening. Okay, it could be, or I could be right. You could misinterpret maths, or it could be correct. Wow, I don't need luck, I need the Lord. Okay? So continuing, so like I was saying, you got a lot of judgment that's going to play out. The scripture says the wages of sin is death. You got a lot of judgment that's going to play out within the earth because the Most High, okay, has seen the evils of these people, man. Okay, and the evils of these people is going to lead to what? It's going to lead to their judgment. Okay? So now let me get a few precepts dealing with the vengeance. All right, now because it's not raining anymore. It's not I could use the Bible now. Okay, that I got in my hand. All right, so I'm gonna hit up a few precepts here. This is the book of 2 Thessalonians 1:6. Okay, the book of 2 Thessalonians 1:6. All right. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. It's a righteous thing for the Most High to do that. Okay. So when it comes, of which is going to surely come, right? A lot of these people they're gonna be taken by storm, man. Okay, because they thought that the Most High was for them. But guess what? The Most High is for the 12 tribes of Israel. That's why he's known as the God of Israel. Okay, you got a lot of people hinging on the thing of the so-called new covenant. The new covenant was to reestablish the old covenant, okay, but upon better promises. And what's the better promise? That we was going to have the laws, statutes, commandments impregnated within our minds, so we wasn't going to go off. That's what's so good about the second covenant, because the Most High is going to establish the 12 tribes of Israel, reestablish the 12 tribes of Israel. But they're never going to leave the position of power. Let's show you that. The book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter, which I might read from Daniel, the top, okay, because that deals with that image, you know, that geezer came up. I was just seeing where his mind was at, okay, for edification's sake, all right. But pretty much Daniel 2, okay, shows you all the different kingdoms that was going to exist, and it shows you about Brexit and the power structure of Esau crumbling apart. The scripture says a house divided up against itself shall not stand. Okay, and that's part of the revenge that the Most High was going to come and put upon, okay, the house of Esau. See, here it is, they've put their hands upon the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, they done raped, robbed, and murdered all the 12 tribes of Israel, whether they may be in the east coast of Africa, whether they was out there as the Native American Indians, whether they was out there and ruling in Europe underneath the name of the Moors. They've raped and robbed all of those nations, the whole 12 tribes of Israel, man. Not only have they raped, robbed, and murdered all the 12 tribes of Israel, okay, they've also gone out there into the different heathen nations, and they've been, the scripture says that they had a continual stroke. Okay, that's within the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter. Okay, so there's going to be a great and heavy judgment. See, man, one of the main things why I do at this camp, okay, just by default, it's not on purpose, but it's something I realized, there's a lot of I go into the thing of Esau getting judged a lot, man. Okay, now I don't know why the Most High always has me do that. Now, if it's a flaw within my ability to bring this truth out, okay, I could be more dynamic and go into different topics. But one thing I've noticed over the years is the thing of Esau having great judgment always comes out, man. Okay, every camp I come out here, the main bulk of the topic is the Edomites going down and the upliftment of our people. Okay, because you go into a lot of people, they look at the Negroes, Hispanics, or what you doing for Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and say what you doing for your people. This is what I'm doing for my people, man. Okay, I'm telling them that what this is the future that's going to come upon, okay, the whole earth. Okay, the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter. All right, the book of Isaiah 14, and I can start from the top. All right, and then I'll go back and forth. Okay, between topics. All right, so I'm going to read this from the top. And stop around the 8th verse. I can read the whole thing, to be fair, and then I'll go back to the book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter. Right, so Isaiah, the 14th chapter, and this is Isaiah 14:1. It says, "And the Lord will have mercy upon Jacob." So when all is said and done, okay, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua was going to have mercy upon the 12 tribes of Israel, the Israelites, man. Okay, you got it to where you got a lot of people out here pretty much that believe that mercy is going to come upon them just because they believe mercy is going to come upon them, man. Now for the Israelites, okay, that are in this truth, okay, the Most High can have mercy upon them. Okay, the Most High is going to have mercy upon someone. Okay, but for these heathen nations that are in the churches and this, that, and the third, that ain't going to happen because, like I just read within the scriptures, their nobles was going to be bound and put into chains. Okay, Isaiah 14:1, it says, "And set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob." So who's the strangers? You go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, on the 64th verse, you find out a lot of our children, okay, a lot of our people were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, a lot of the children of Israel were scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So the scripture says that what? Amos 9:9, the Most High Yahweh said that, "For lo, I will command, I will sift the 12 tribes of Israel like corn is sifted in the sieve. There shall not the least grain fall upon the earth." All right, so it says, "And the people shall take them, and they shall bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were." So we're gonna take. You got into it. A lot of people thinking that what? That the kingdom of heaven is just gonna be peace for everybody. Well, after eventuality, when the root of evil is sealed from the earth, that is to say the Edomites, okay, the red Hebrew Edomites, okay, are taken from the earth, then you was gonna have complete peace upon the planet, man. Then you was gonna have it to where you go complete peace. But up until that point, all right, you was gonna have it to where what? You was gonna have it to where you was going. There's this particular process that's gonna happen. The Lord's gonna return. First and foremost, the chip's gonna be released. World War III. Okay, and during the process of World War III, when you go to where nuclear weapons are dropping all over the place, okay, when you got that happening, you was also gonna have it to where what? The Lord was gonna deliver His people, man. Now, in the Lord delivering His people. Okay, in the Lord delivering His people, what was going to happen in the Lord delivering His people? Okay, He was going to He's going to destroy the rest of the earth, man. He's going to bring punishments upon the people. He's going to sift the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, now peace upon the earth for the rest of the people comes in this wise. When New Jerusalem, when New Jerusalem comes down from the sky, okay, all right, and Jerusalem is established as the top city within the earth, all right, and then after the 1,000 years of judgment for the heathen nations, okay, and 1,000 years of hardcore judgment for the Edomite nation, okay, and then them ultimately being wiped off from the face of the earth, then you was gonna have it to where what? Everybody was gonna be in a state of rejoicing. But up until that point, okay, but check it out. Check out what I just said. After that 1,000 years of hardcore captivity for the heathen nations building up our kingdom, Esau is nowhere to be mentioned after that, man. That's going into the book of Obadiah, okay, the Obadiah where he talks about the house of Esau being for stubble. Okay, that's going into the book of Job, the 28th chapter, where he talks about how he shall be chased away as the vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more. Okay? So continuing here, it says, Isaiah 14:2, it says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them, and the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Okay, and they shall bring them captives, okay, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So who oppressed the children of Israel? Okay, who oppressed, okay, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, man? All the nations of the earth have oppressed the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Okay, all the nations upon the face of the earth have oppressed the 12 tribes of Israel. So all the nations upon the face of the earth was going to get judged for oppressing the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, that's just a fact. Okay, now let's continue here dealing with the topic of Esau. This is the third verse, and it says, and it shall come to pass in that day the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrows. So you got a lot of Israelites right now looking for rest. The scripture says that the rest ain't going to come up until the Lord comes, man. All right? The rest ain't going to come for the 12 tribes of Israel right up until the Lord comes. Okay? So it says there, and they shall take them captives whose captives they were, right? And they shall rule over their oppressors, and it shall come to pass in that day the Lord shall give thee rest from thy hard bondage when thou wast made to serve, which we're still in slavery. Okay, we're still in hardcore captivity underneath the elite banking families. They're the ones that rule the world right now. They're the ones that print money. Okay, they're the ones that got all the nations in hardcore debt. Okay, you go to where you go, the government of England, the government of America, okay, the government of some distant far country way out there, okay, in hardcore debt. Who are they in hardcore debt to? They're in hardcore debt unto the elite banking families. Because when you check out how this whole financial system works, okay, the whole monetary system, you find out that pretty much you have central banks set up, okay, which these individual governments, wherever they may be, okay, basically borrow from that central bank. Now, who owns all the central banks within the world? The elite banking families, man. Okay, they're the ones that are really operating and saying, look, you can do this, that, and the third with the money that you borrow from us. And that's how these people are slaves unto them. That's why you get it to where you got your birth certificate, your passport is in block capitals, man, telling you that what? Your property, okay, Guayam, okay, cattle, so you can understand, cattle unto the elite banking families. Okay, they own your ass, man. Now what's going to happen is that we the children of Israel are going to be freed from the shackles of debt, all right, that the elite banking families have inflicted upon us. And what's going to happen is the rest of these people upon the earth, they're going to come underneath our shackles, man. But these ain't going to be no imaginary shackles. Okay, you ain't going to have to point or go into some deep breakdown to prove that you're a slave underneath us. Okay, you're going to see your shackles, man. Okay, you're going to see that you are a slave underneath the 12 tribes of Israel. And there ain't going to be no covert mission, man. It's going to be overt, man. That thing's going to be in your face, man. Okay, the rulership, okay, and the reign of the 12 tribes of Israel is going to be the most overt thing that you ever seen, man. You already seen how the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, you already seen what they do with money, man. You have a Negro, Hispanic, Native American as an athlete, you seen what they do, man. They'll paint the whole city red, man. Okay, they'll paint the whole city gold. They'll paint the whole city silver, man. Look at these guys like LeBron James and what's this guy, James Harden. When these guys go out partying, man, it's like they've never been a party before, man. Okay, they win a game or they win a championship or whatever. You see when they win a championship and whatever, the whole city stops. Well, guess what? That's how it's gonna be every day of the kingdom, man. So if we're gonna be partying like that, how do you think we're gonna have our slaves? We're gonna have them hidden away in some room out? No, man. We're gonna have them in your face, man. Okay, you're gonna know that you are serving the 12 tribes of Israel. You see it in movies, man. Okay, whenever they want a villain, a baddie, okay, a so-called bad guy to take over a certain particular place, why is it they always of a particular, they might be blue, okay, they might be anything other than the so-called hero of that film, because they're alluding to the fact that what, okay, when they see, because we're the villain to the Edomites, man. Okay, when you got the movies like Captain America and Avengers and this, that, and the third, the Avengers wasn't set in some favela somewhere, man. Okay, and Captain America was trying to save some Hispanics, man. Okay, that didn't happen, man. Whenever you got a so-called world crisis and the so-called heroes of the world gathered together to save the world, they're looking after Edomite interests, man. Okay, who's the big villain that comes out? It's always a person of color. It might be a blue person, a red person. Okay, look at Darkseid. Darkseid was this blue person, man. Okay, look at Thanos, this big blue person. Okay, and that's all similitude of what's going to happen. Okay, the reality that the Most High is going to inflict upon these people, and that when the Lord appears, He's going to be the villain to their enterprise, man. Here it is, the so-called Edomites. Okay, really, the Hebrew Edomites, they're running the world right now. Okay, when the Lord appears, that's going to be the end of their world, man. Okay, you got to realize that to them, the Lord's the enemy, man. But to us, He's our salvation. And to a lot of these Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans that have made a pact, okay, with the Edomites, with the Esau people, okay, they're also going to see the Lord, and that's going to be an appearing, that's going to mean the end of their world. Okay, the guys that are out there as top athletes and this, that, and the third, okay, they're the ones that are going to be what? They're going to be crying because the world that they had, the lifestyle that they had is going to end. Now, really, ultimately, after they serve their judgment for betraying their heritage, okay, really, they're going to be higher than the level that they're in, like LeBron James. Okay, this guy's on top of the world. They call him King James, man. He's got more money than sense, but he ain't got Rothschild money. Okay, he's got more money than the average Negro, Hispanic, or Native Americans, but he hasn't got Edomite money. Okay, then what we're gonna find out is the scripture says that what the least, okay, was gonna be as King David was, and King David had all kind of resources, man. Okay, they said that King David had, the scripture says that King David had like 400 wives, man. Okay. That's dealing with the peace pacts that you're gonna make that they made back then. But see, guess what? We ain't gonna have to make no peace pact, man. Okay, because like going back onto the point I was making, this ain't gonna be some hidden rulership. This ain't gonna be some hidden rulership. This is gonna be some overt rulership. Okay, this is gonna be a rulership that's gonna be in your face, man. Okay, this is going to be a rulership, okay, that everybody's going to recognize that this is the people of the Lord, this is whom the Lord has blessed, and this is the rulers and the masters over us, man. That's the rulership that the Most High is going to give unto the 12 tribes of Israel, man. That's why the scripture says that what? Okay, when the Lord was going to appear, going into the book of Revelations, the 18th chapter, okay, when they see America, the smoke of America burning, they was going to cry, man. Okay, because they made all their money through America, and when they see the Lord's appearing, they was going to fire up against the Lord's appearing, man. Because the Lord's appearing is the end of their world, but the Lord's appearing is the beginning of ours. The book of 2 Ezra 6 and 9, the end of Esau is the beginning of Jacob, man. Okay, just like how they